When you have data that you want to use in Manager that's in a CSV file, you need to tell Manager how to read the file, and you do this by making a CSV form. We go to Edit, CSV Forms, and first up we name our CSV form. Manager has given us a couple of column headers to get started, and you click on a column header and then use these controls to specify what's in the column of your CSV file and how it should be processed. You can right mouse click to bring up a menu to add or delete columns. You can build your CSV form manually like this, but we're going to work smarter not harder and load our CSV file. Here Manager gives you a header for each column, and now you can assign the correct data source. But before we do that, we've got some rows here at the top of our file with text that isn't part of the data, so we need to let Manager know to ignore these. We enter the number of rows here. You see that they're greyed out now, but actually I need to skip this row too, so I'll just update that. Okay, so in the first column we've got the date, so we click on the header, and for dates and times we head to the reserved words list. Manager can deal with most date formats, but you will need to tell it if the month comes before the day by ticking here. Next up we've got the time, and we choose this from the reserved words list too. And in this column we've got flow in cubic meters per second, and we select this from the list of data sources. If you've got more than one item of data at a particular time for that data source, you'll need to specify a measurement to tell the importer which item to load. For example, we could have a measurement of flow from gauging results as well as our measurement of flow from a recorder. In this list you'll see that the data source is in brackets after the measurement name. The number in this column identifies the recorder, and I don't want that, so I just leave the header blank. You can have more than one rule to define a column, and to add a rule you right click on the column header, and you can also delete a rule here too. You can enter a site name, or leave it blank and Manager will use the site name you give when you run the importer. You can specify a linear transformation to be applied to the data as the importer reads it. And if your data is from a logger that spits out a magic number or specific text to indicate a break in the data, put this here. Nicely though, it's case sensitive. This option is for data from rainfall recorders that measure rainfall cumulatively and empty the catch bucket when it's full. Tick here and Manager will sort out the actual measurements. If you've got quality codes for a measurement, enter the information as if it were an actual data, then tick this box for the columns that have quality code data. If you do anything in this section, make sure you click Apply for it to take effect. Let's pop back over to the reserved words list and see what else is in here. You can identify non-detects, offsets to read cross-sections and depth profiles, and locations. You can identify site names and measurements, and if the file you're going to import was created by somebody else whose site and or measurement name differs to yours, you can enter their agency name here. This field here allows you to type header information in directly without using any of these other lists here. Right, I'd better just change this back to flow or else we're not going to get what we want. And lastly, but definitely not least, if you've got spaces or tabs between your columns as opposed to commas, tick this box here. Once you're done, you can save and close the editor. Now that we've made our CSV form, we can import our CSV file. First and foremost, we will import our data into a new Hilltop file, so any mistakes don't trash our existing data. So we'll go to File New, I'll call it CSV Demo, Save. Right, now we can go to Data, Import, CSV File, type the name of your CSV file or browse to find it. We'll select the CSV form that we made, and if you want to, you can click here to open the form. It'll load up the first few lines of your file so you can check it and edit the form if necessary. If your CSV file doesn't contain a site name, you'll need to add it here, type it in or select it from the list. You can access the CSV file from here if you want to and make any last minute changes. And once you're all set, click Start. And here's our imported data in our new file ready to analyze.